Hey YouTube, in this deck profile we're going to be going over my budget Murakumo deck. So this isn't Hyuga, this is just, well, you'll see, it's Mandalore. Mandalore's still good. This is a pretty fun deck. It can get its wins if you play it right. It's Excel, so it gives you lots of attacks. It's got, you know, it's pretty easy to play once you figure out the combos. It's not a whole lot to it. It's basically like classical Murakumo. Doesn't do anything with like manipulating your opponent's attack power, that sort of stuff. But like I said, it's a budget deck and it's very easy to build. So let's get right into it. So 4, Demonic Dragon Mandalore. So this guy is your main Vanguard, and then the backup is surprisingly annoying Twin Swordsman Musashi. People hate playing against this guy for some reason in my area. I don't know why, but his effect is pretty consistent and easy to pull off. Basically, when he attacks as a Vanguard or a Rearguard, if you have more Rearguards than the opponent, he gains 5k, and then when the opponent would call Guardians from the hand, they have to call 2 or more. So it's got one of those, like, you know, the modern, I call it the modern guard restriction in Vanguard, but he's got that effect. It's really easy to pull off because you're an Excel clan, so you usually spam the field anyway, and with all the cloning going on with Mandalore, usually you'll always have a bigger field than your opponent. Unless you're in like a mirror match or something like that, or you're up against like another Excel deck. But even then, Murakumo's usually the fastest one out of all the Excels at spamming the field. And the nice thing about them is they pull from the deck, so they deck thin too. So anyway, for grade 2s, we're running 4, Stealth Fiend Midnight Crow. Just to help you clone one card, same card as your Vanguard. Call to orange shuffle your deck when placed from hand, so Vanguard or Rearguard. So helps you get another Mandalore, or on turn 2, if he's Vanguard, you can clone himself. That's classic play. Glad he's back in the game. Next, we are running 4, Megal Mandala. This guy is cool because when he's in the deck or in the Rearguard, he's treated as Mandalore, like same name. So he allows you to get like the more than 4 Mandalores on the field. And then when you have 3 or more Mandalores on the Vanguard and Rearguard, you get this unit can boost. It's grade 2. Then the only other grade 2 I'm running is the 3 Bloody Mist. So Stealth Beast, Bloody Mist. 3 of him. You could run 4 of him if you want to just be consistent, but you don't really need to run the 4th one. Now he does call one of himself from the deck, and it stays out of the deck, unlike old school Murakumo, which would go back to the bottom of the deck. So that's why Murakumo is so much better in standard, or in the modern Vanguard than they were in the past. For grade 1s, we're running 4 Jiraiya. So Jiraiya helps you. He's like your best turn 1 ride, basically. So when he's placed on Vanguard, draw a card and put a card from the hand on the bottom of the deck. So he cycles. There's quite a few cards in the game that do this now, so it's not a very unique effect. But he does have a Rearguard effect where you can counterblast 1 and one of your Vanguards gets 10,000 power, which is pretty interesting, actually. It's pretty easy to pull that off. Next, we're running 4 Stealth Dragon, Hitsumetsu Blazer. So this guy, you can use him to basically power up your multiple copies of Mandalore. That's basically why we're running him. Not a whole lot to explain there. And then at the end of the turn, now he goes into the soul, so he helps you if you soul blast, and a few cards do that actually, like the Crow, for example. So he does put himself in the soul, and then at the end he draws you a card. Or if 3 units got 5k, he draws you a card. So he replaces himself. That's pretty good. So I run 4 of him. Then 4 Stealth Dragon Turbulent Edge. He also uses Soul Blast. And until end of turn, change the card names of him. Like basically every Turbulent Edge becomes Mandalore. Either Mandalore that's on V or R. And then they get 3,000 power. So pretty good at helping you push for game. So we run and get the bigger numbers. So that's why we run him. And then the last grade 1 is 2 Stealth Fiend Kirifubuki. So this is the new Sentinel that when it's placed on Vanguard, you draw 1 card, then discard 1 card from the hand. We're running 2 of these because of the trigger lineup. The trigger lineup in this deck is really, really cool. I think people will find it very original compared to what you typically see on multiple deck profile videos. So 2 of the grade 1 Sentinel. So that means we run 2 of the grade 0 Sentinel. So 2 leaves Mirage. So 2 draws, 2 draw triggers. because you don't really need to draw a whole lot, because usually what ends up happening is you clone so much from your deck that, you know, similar to Gold Paladin, you end up like keeping cards in your hand to block. So you don't really need too much draw power. So just 2, that allows us access to front triggers. So I am running 4 front triggers. So 2 of these, 2 different ones. And then the rest of the criticals, there'll be 6 criticals, or the rest of the triggers rather. So 6 critical and 4 heal. So I think this is pretty original. I have done this in a couple of my decks that my Excel decks that have access to fronts. I know I've done this in the past with Pale Moon, and people in the local area, they kind of think it's pretty cool. Where I have like grade 1 sentinels and grade 0 sentinels, and I have access. I utilize fronts, not as much as criticals, but I still have the capability of tripping up the opponent, and they're kind of like guessing what's my you know, trigger lineup. They don't really know, so it does add an element of surprise in the deck, and I think that's really cool and original. So last but not least, we have the starter. We're running Goman. He's the new starter, the newer one, because he was the classic one during like the Link Joker Break Ride era in original Vanguard. So I hope you guys enjoyed that deck profile. That was my Murakumo deck. It's probably going to be like this for a while. I'll eventually feature Hyuga and Shirayuki, but the problem is, like, it's hard for me to find Shirayuki right now. I've got Hyuga, but I don't have Shirayuki. I don't want to change this deck right now, because I don't really play Murakumo too much. This is more of like a for fun deck. But hope you guys enjoy the deck profile and give you some ideas on how to build a budget Murakumo deck if you're someone who's wanting to get into Vanguard, but can't find Hyuga or can't really afford to build like the super OP stuff that's out there. You can have fun with the game just playing a deck like this. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.